Hello everybody and welcome to a very special and exciting and interesting time with us here on your favorite program,
My Funtime Story Club.
I promise you it's much more fun than they made it sound. So what are we doing here? It's what? My Funtime Story Club. Exactly. I know some of you are now on holiday and I'm looking forward to meeting you and seeing you and talking with you, and we can have our special time here on our special episode. So why don't you do what you normally do as is our custom. Get your, what do they need to get, guys?
Popcorn, drinks.
Popcorn and drinks. What else do they need to get?
Get changed, get your teddy bear,
Get your teddy bear, get your pajamas, whatever the case is. Get ready, and we're going to go into a really interesting story, a very special story in the Bible, and we'll see you in a second. Bye.
Hello, my name is Oke, and you are watching My Funtime Story Club. Keep watching.
Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you have everything ready and arranged, and you got your snacks. I hope you called your neighbors, your friends, and we're going to go into a very special and interesting story in the Bible. Now, this period of the year is very special. Why is it special? Can you guys tell me why? Why is this a special time of year? Sarah, tell me.
Because it's Easter. See?
Easter. So what does Easter mean? Is someone who doesn't know about Easter, is it about Easter eggs?
No.
Is it about Easter bunnies?
No.
Because I keep on seeing Easter bunnies in the shop. What is Easter about? Okay, tell me.
The resurrection of Jesus when he died on the cross.
When Jesus died on the cross. Okay, what else? Can someone else tell me what it's about? Cece, tell me.
Well, I think it's because Jesus, it was like a picture of Jesus when dying on the cross. So it's like there's a picture of one sort of a tree. Sort of thing.
Something like that, okay. The reason why Easter is so special is because Jesus, we all know Jesus is the Son of God. And I remember when we spoke about how Jesus was born, and he was born in a manger, and that was during Christmas, right?
Yes.
So during Easter, we celebrate Jesus dying on the cross and what happened. So we'll go back. There was a period where Jesus was, he became very popular. He was healing people, healing the sick. And there was one period where the people were so happy, they wanted to celebrate him. And he sent his disciples, one of his disciples, to go to city to go and get a colt. Do you know what a colt is? A colt? It's like a donkey. It's in between a donkey and a horse, but it's a small horse. It's actually like a donkey, more to be honest. And Jesus rode on that donkey, and he rode through the streets of the town called Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Can you spell Jerusalem for me?
J-E-R-U-S.
Yeah.
L.
Huh? Jerusalem.
L-E-N.
Yes, that's correct. Jerusalem. And where's Jerusalem? Does Jerusalem exist today?
Yes.
Where is it?
Yep.
Jerusalem. Where is Jerusalem?
In Africa.
In Africa?
No, it's not in Africa. It's not in Africa. It's not in Africa.
It's not in Africa, no. Where's Jerusalem? You guys at home, where's Jerusalem?
It's in Egypt.
It's not in Egypt. Egypt is in Africa.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't know that you didn't know that Egypt is in Africa?
Did, but I forgot.
Jesus Christ.
Israel is the country where Jerusalem is found. Jerusalem is not the capital city of Israel. However, what is the capital city of Israel?
Bethlehem.
It's not Bethlehem, no. Okay, tell me.
I was going to say that.
What is it? It's not Bethlehem, no?
Yeah.
If you guys don't know the answer for what is the capital city of Israel, that's your homework. Next time, when you come back, I want you to tell me the capital city of Israel. Now, where is Jerusalem found? It's found where?
In
Israel. You guys have created a new country called Israel. It's found in Israel. Okay? Jerusalem is found in Israel, and Jerusalem is known as the city of David because it was a city that was built by David. Okay? So, King David. So at that point in time, Jesus got on a donkey, and all the people all around, as he rode through the city to the gates of the city, they were celebrating, saying, "He's our king," celebrating and loving him. And at each time he passed, they would put down palms, long palm leaves on the ground, so that his donkey would pass over and walk over the palms, which is why we have Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday, like today would have been Palm Sunday, is a Sunday before Easter Sunday. Okay? So what's it called?
Palm
And what happened on Palm Sunday? People celebrated the king, right?
Yeah.
And they realized that Jesus was someone who was very powerful. They recognized Jesus as a king, and they wanted him as the king of the Jews. But what happened was that the Pharisees saw this and they thought, no, this is not nice. We don't want Jesus as our king. He's a blasphemer. He eats with sinners, and he hugs people with leprosy, and he's just always doing good, and he's going to make us look bad. And and we know his father Joseph. Joseph is just a carpenter. He's just a carpenter's son. We can't have a carpenter as our king. So they plotted and they planned, and they wanted to make sure that Jesus would not become the king. And so that's what started off the process. So what happens next, we'll find out when we come back from the break.
Hi, my name's Hadja and you're watching My Funtime Story Club. Keep watching. Bye.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. So before we left, we were talking about how Jesus went through the city of Jerusalem, which is in a country called Israel. It's a country called Israel, and he was being celebrated by all the people who lived in Jerusalem, and they were throwing, palms down onto the street as he was riding past on his donkey, and they did that as a sign of their love and appreciation and this recognition that he was they looked at him and they viewed him as a king. And so the Pharisees were so jealous, and they wanted to now start planning to kill him. But before that happened, they couldn't do anything because they knew it was going to be a very special feast in Jewish times called Passover. And Passover was very important for the Jewish people because it was a time they remembered that it was during that period that they remembered what God had done for them when Moses led them out of where did Moses lead them from?
Egypt.
He led them from Egypt to the promised land, right? And so there was a period in that time, what was called Passover, when the angel of the Lord, the angel of death, went from house to house. It was a last plague, and he killed every firstborn male in the house. And every house that had, the sign on the door that was made with the blood of the lamb was saved and was protected. And so all the Jewish people, they always remember this period as a time when God saved them and God led them out from Egypt as slaves to be free people into their own promised land. And so the Pharisees knew that they couldn't kill Jesus. It was a very special time. Imagine it's like killing someone at Christmas time. It was very important. It was not a good thing at all to do. But so what Jesus did, and he knew this was going to happen. So he said, his disciples said to him, "Oh, Master, what do you want to have for Passover? What do you want to eat? Do you want to have some lamb? Do you want to have, what do you want to eat? Do you want to go to Nando's? Do you want to go, where do you think they could have gone? Do you want to go to KFC? Do you want to go to TGI Fridays, And Jesus said to them, I want you to go to this man. There's a man, go to his house and tell him that we are going to come over for dinner. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine going to someone and saying, I'm going to come to your house for dinner, you don't know the person? What do you think the person will say?
That's just weird.
That's weird. You don't know the person. What else?
Say anything. I think they'll just run away.
You think maybe they'll run away? They'll run out of the house. But no,
Call
the
the
person
police.
was so, the person, it says that this God had preordained, and he kind of made things, he planned for everything to happen that way. And the man agreed. And so the disciples and Jesus had their Passover meal. And there's something special that happens during Passover meal. They eat a special kind of bread, and it's called unleavened bread. Unleavened bread. And I'll spell that for you. UNLEAVENED. Feast of unleavened bread. And unleavened bread is bread that is flat, okay? It's, it's round, it's flat and it's round, and it's very special because, why is it special?
It has a cross on it.
No,
It's like,
that's not why it's special.
oh,
Why?
because it's Jesus' body.
It is, yes, but there's a no, I'm talking about Passover bread. Why is it special? It's different from normal bread.
Is it because Jesus ate it?
Yes, it's different because Jesus ate it. But it's different because bread is normally made with yeast. Y-E-A-S-T, yeast. And yeast is like something that causes the bread. When you go to the shops, it'll rise. It causes the bread to rise, exactly. So when you go to the shops, you buy your King's Mill or your Hovis. Is it flat? Is it big and puffy? It's big and puffy. That's what yeast does. And so the unleavened bread has got no yeast in it. So it's nice and flat, kind of like pita bread. And so the disciples, they were having their meal. They're having the Passover meal. And, he was sitting with his disciples. And he said to them, as they were eating, he said, I tell you the truth. One of you is going to turn against me. And all of them said, what? No, not me. It's not me. It's like, just imagine you're sitting here and I say, one of you is going to eat my McFlurry. Are you going to admit to doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Definitely.
You'll admit to eating it.
I wanna
Okay,
eat a
what if I
McFlurry.
say, one of you is going to take money from my bag?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'd love to.
Cece, why would you take money from my bag?
I want to be rich. I'm rich.
So you want to take money from my bag so you can be rich?
The stealing.
Okay.
Well, it's not like you're stealing because
It's stealing.
It is
Okay,
not
it's
because
stealing.
you're
Yes,
my
it
auntie,
is.
basically.
Yes,
No,
no,
but you
but
have
if I
to-
didn't give you permission, it's stealing.
Yeah, but you kind of gave it permission because you said one of you is gonna.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I did say that.
Kind of.
I did not give you anyway. And so the disciples said, which is what people should have said, who is it, Lord? Surely I am not the one who is going to decide to turn against you. And Jesus said, the man who's dipped his hand with me into the bowl is the one who is going to turn against me. The Son of Man will die. He knew that he was going to die, but he knew that the person who was going to betray him was going to feel really bad and feel really sorry. And he said that it would have been better for him if he had never been born. And then Judas said to him, Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, said to Jesus, Teacher, surely, he whispered, he's like, it's going to be me. He didn't want the other disciples to hear him. And Jesus said, yes, it is you. And while they were eating, and Judas was just a little bit sad, and he thought, oh, okay, let me just carry on eating. So Jesus carried on talking, and he started talking to his disciples, and he took the bread, and he thanked God for it, and he broke it, and he gave it to his followers, and he said, take this bread and eat it. This bread is my body. And then Jesus took a cup of wine, he thanked God for it, and he gave it to all the followers, everyone who was there. And he said, this is my blood, which begins a new agreement with God and his people. This blood is poured out. It's poured out for many to forgive their sins. And he says, I tell you this, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine again until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And then they sang a hymn, and then they went out to the Mountain of Olives. And so that's what we call the Lord's Supper. And so before they did that, before they went out, Jesus did something very, very special. he washed the feet of his disciples. Now, Jesus was like a king. In fact, Jesus is more than a king. He's the King of Kings. And so when he did that, he took a bowl and he washed his disciples' feet. And what do you think, if someone, can you imagine, what would it be like if one of your aunties or someone who's older than you came to you and said, let me wash your feet? Or they did something very special for you that you knew you should be doing for them. How would you feel?
I'll just say I'll wash the dishes.
Okay. So let's say you're supposed to wash the dishes and then mommy comes and does the dishes for you. She doesn't say anything. What would you do? How will you feel?
When I'm tired, I'd feel, oh, thank you very much.
So you say thank
But
you.
if
Okay.
I'm not tired, then I'd be like sorry for her for standing up and wasting her time.
Okay, how about you? How would you
I'd
feel?
feel grateful.
You'd feel grateful? Sarah?
I'll feel shocked.
You feel shocked. Okay.
I
Cece?
feel surprised because I normally wash the dishes sometimes, and if my brother just goes and washes it for me, I'll be thankful.
You'd be thankful.
And also, I'd be surprised because he's never done something like that for me.
That's good. Exactly. So imagine the disciples, were feeling shocked that this is someone that they served and this is someone who's coming to serve them. And, this is what Jesus had to do. And Peter said, Jesus, no, I don't want you to wash my feet. You can't wash my feet. And Jesus said, if you don't, I need to wash your feet. I have to do it. It's something that has to be done. If I don't wash your feet, then where I'm going, you can't come with me. Whoops. So Peter said, okay, God, Jesus, wash my feet, and then I want you to wash my hands, and I want you to wash my head as well. Because he wanted to be with Jesus so much. So anyway, let's move forward. So they finished the supper, and they went out to the Mountain of Olives so that they could, because Jesus wanted to pray. So when they went out to the Garden of Gethsemane. Garden of Gethsemane. Who can spell that for me?
Gethsemane.
Can you spell it at home? How about you guys? Gethsemane. 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 Okay, do it together.
G-E.
You guys at home spell as well?
What do you mean T?
So let's do it together. Let's go. Gethsemane. 1, 2, go. You guys at home, let's go together.
G-E-T. Since when now?
Gethsemane.
No. I'll spell it for you. It's spelled G-E-T-H-S-E-M-A-N-E. I'll spell it again. G-E-T-H-S-E-M-A-N-E. Gethsemane. So while Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he wanted to pray because he was feeling sad. And he said to some of his followers, with the followers he said, sit here while I go over and pray. And he told Peter and James to come with him, the two sons of Zebedee. Then Jesus was very sad and troubled. He said, I need you to stay here for a while whilst I pray. And as he was praying, he said, God, if it's possible, please let this cup just pass over me. But Lord, it's not what I want, but it is what you want. And then when Jesus finished praying, he went back and he found them asleep. He found them sleeping after he had told them to sit down, keep watch, and make sure nothing happened. And he said to them, why couldn't you stay awake for just 1 hour? Why couldn't you do it? And they said, oh, Jesus, we were tired. And then Jesus went back and prayed again. And he kept on praying. And as he was, he was praying so hard. And then after some time, he went back and he found his disciples. They were still asleep. They were yawning, exactly like how Cece is yawning on TV right now. Yes. Cece was yawning, just like the disciples were yawning. And he came and they were still sleeping. And while Jesus was still speaking to them, Judas came up. And Judas, remember Judas?
Yeah.
Judas, they came back. He came to Jesus, and Jesus saw him coming up. And at once, greetings. He said, hi, Jesus. Greetings, teacher. And Jesus said to him, just do what you have to do. And you know what he did? What did he do?
Took him to the...
No, there's something important. He kissed Jesus on the cheek. And that was how the people that Judas came with, who were the Pharisees, the soldiers, the police, the riot police, everybody came to take one man. And that was a sign that they had that Jesus was a man that they had come for. We'll come back in a second.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, and you're watching My Funtime Story Club on Level TV. Keep watching, keep being excellent, and don't miss an episode. Bye! See you again!
Hi guys, welcome back. And when we left the story, Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane praying, and he had just been betrayed by Judas Iscariot. And so what happened next is that Jesus was taken by the soldiers, and he was taken to the governor of the time, Pontius Pilate, and he was given a trial in front of everybody, the whole city of Jerusalem, who had been crying and praising him and celebrating him as a king. And those same people now wanted him to be killed, and they wanted him to be killed in the place of a thief and a man called Barabbas. And so as they decided that, Pontius Pilate said, I've washed my hands of this. You and the people have made the decision to crucify him. And Jesus was crucified on the cross, and he died. And when he died, there was an earthquake, and there was a great veil in the temple, which was torn in two. And the sky became so dark, and he died. And he was buried. He was buried by his mom and his disciples. And the Pharisees said, make sure you have a guard standing at his tomb. Make sure that no one can come in or come out, because they knew that Jesus had said he would come back to life after 3 days. And guess what? On the next day, he died on a Friday. The following day was a Sabbath. And obviously no one could do any work. No one is allowed to do any work. No one is allowed to go anywhere on the Sabbath. So the very next morning after the Sabbath, Mary went to the tomb to go and dress his body. But when she got to the tomb, guess what? There was nobody there. She saw an angel. And he said, who are you looking for? And she said, what? Excuse me, where did you put Jesus, my master? And he said, why are you looking for the living among the dead? The Jesus that you're looking for is risen. And he is not here. He is risen. Go and tell everybody that you know that Jesus is alive. And what do you think Mary did? Do you think she just fell and said, oh no? What do you think she did? Cece, tell me.
She went to one of the halls where the people were, and then she said, Jesus is missing, and she was talking to Jesus.
She went and told everybody. She told the disciples, and some of the disciples didn't believe it, and they ran. They went and they looked in the tomb. The big stone was a big stone. How do you think how big the stone was? How big it was? Was it maybe this big, or was it that big? How big?
It was that big.
That big. It was a big,
10
heavy
times
stone.
bigger.
It had been rolled away. It was not there anymore. And the disciples looked in and they saw that his grave clothes, the clothes he was wearing, were nicely folded, and there was nobody there. And that's the story of how Jesus was resurrected. He died, he went on the cross, he died, and he rose back to life after 3 days. When we come back, we're going to talk about why that is so important.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, and you're watching My Funtime Story Club on Level TV. Keep watching, keep being excellent, and don't miss an episode. Bye! See you again!